The hunting lodge of Carthax Prime stretched across 3 kilometers of obsidian and bloodsteel, its walls adorned with the preserved remains of 1,000 conquered species. Ambassador Vexhai of the Dominion Council walked through the trophy hall with practiced indifference, though even his hardened sensibilities recoiled at some of the displays. "Magnificent, isn't it?" rasped Warlord Graktos, his 6-clawed arms gesturing proudly at the macabre collection. Each one represents a species that thought themselves worthy of space. The Zephyrians with their crystalline telepathy. He pointed to a shimmering skull mounted on spikes. The Velthari and their precious honor codes. A collection of ceremonial weapons hung beneath what appeared to be a warrior's preserved torso. Vexhai's diplomatic training kept his expression neutral. The Carthax were the most feared predator species in 3 sectors, their reputation for cruelty legendary even among the galactic community's more violent members. This meeting was crucial for the Dominion's expansion plans. "Your prowess is well documented," Vexhai replied carefully. "The Council is particularly interested in your recent campaigns in the Sol sector." Graktos's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among his kind. "Ah yes, the humans, such fascinating prey." He led the ambassador to a newer section of the hall, where fresher trophies gleamed under the crimson lights. They fight with such creativity. No natural weapons, no enhanced physiology, yet they resist longer than species 3 times their size. The display case before them contained human artifacts, dog tags, photographs, a child's toy, fragments of military uniforms. Vexhai noticed how these items were arranged almost reverently, unlike the crude displays of other species. "This section seems different," Vexhai observed. The warlord's expression shifted, something almost resembling uncertainty flickering across his scarred features. "The humans are unusual prey. We expected easy conquest, soft flesh, primitive weapons, fractured governments. Instead, we found something we had not encountered in 3 centuries of hunting, which was mercy." Graktos moved to a central display case larger than the others, containing what appeared to be a complete human military uniform alongside various personal effects. The nameplate read, "Captain Sarah Chen, Terran Defense Corps." She was commanding a refugee convoy, Graktos continued, his voice dropping to something almost approaching reverence. 12,000 non-combatants fleeing our advance. Her fleet of outdated vessels couldn't hope to match our dreadnoughts. When we disabled her flagship, she did something unprecedented. The warlord's claws traced the edge of the display case. She opened communications and offered herself in exchange for the convoy's safe passage. Not her ship, not her crew, herself. 1 life for 12,000. Vexhai leaned forward, intrigued despite himself. "And you accepted?" I was curious. In 3 centuries, no prey had ever offered such terms. They fight, they flee, they beg, but they never offer themselves willingly. I agreed to her bargain, thinking it would make for an interesting hunt. The chamber fell silent except for the low hum of the preservaton systems. Graktos continued, his voice now barely above a whisper. "She came aboard my flagship alone, unarmed. When my hunters surrounded her, she didn't cower or weep as others do. She asked for only one thing, that when I killed her, I ensure her body was returned to her people so her family could mourn properly. She spoke of human burial traditions, of how important it was for the dead to rest among their own. An interesting request," Vexhai noted. "I had intended to add her skull to my collection, as is our way with worthy adversaries. But something in her eyes—" Graktos paused, struggling with concepts his language had no words for. "She was not afraid to die, Ambassador. She was afraid of being forgotten." The warlord moved to another case, this one containing what appeared to be a human grave marker, a simple white cross with Chen's name and dates carved into it. I granted her request. But first she spoke to me of human customs, their beliefs about honor and sacrifice. She told me stories of human warriors who died for others, not for glory or conquest, but because it was right. She spoke of something called the better angels of our nature. Vexhai found himself drawn into the tale despite his diplomatic detachment. "What happened then?" "I killed her quickly, cleanly. No torture, no prolonged hunt. And then—" Graktos's voice cracked slightly. "I did something I had never done before. I returned her body to the human fleet along with full recordings of her sacrifice. I watched their funeral ceremony from my ship's sensors." The chamber's lighting seemed to dim as Graktos continued his unprecedented confession. They mourned her not as a casualty of war, but as a hero who saved 12,000 lives. They sang songs I didn't understand, spoke words that made grown warriors weep, and in that moment I realized something terrible, Ambassador. What? We are not the apex predators we believed ourselves to be. We hunt and kill and take trophies, but we create nothing, preserve nothing, honor nothing beyond strength. The humans. They make meaning from loss, create beauty from sacrifice. They transform death into something greater than mere ending. Groktos turned to face Vexhai directly. Since that day, no Carthax vessel has fired upon a human ship. My hunters ask me why, and I cannot explain it in terms they understand. How do you tell a predator species that they have met something that surpasses them not in strength, but in spirit? The ambassador stared at the humble memorial display, so different from the grotesque trophies surrounding it. What are you saying, warlord? I'm saying the humans have taught us something we didn't know we needed to learn. Mercy is not weakness. It's the ultimate expression of strength. To show kindness to those who cannot defend themselves, to sacrifice for others without reward, to honor the dead not as conquered enemies but as fellow travelers in this vast, cold universe. Graktos's massive form seemed somehow diminished as he spoke his final words. We came to their worlds as conquerors and left as students. The humans didn't defeat us with weapons or technology. They defeated us with their humanity. In the silence that followed, Vexhai found himself looking at the simple white cross with new understanding. Perhaps the most dangerous thing in the galaxy wasn't the species that could kill you, but the one that could change you. The greatest trophy wasn't what you took from your enemies, but what you learned from them, and sometimes mercy was the most predatory act of all.